The No Invite Podcast. Yeah.
Season 4. The process.
I'm sorry, I'm crazy.
No Invite Podcast.
Family.
Like you're just, I'm feeling this energy right now.
Hey, this is why I tell you she's great, bro. Like seriously, what she does. Just too bad she don't get to come kick it that often.
Dork.
No Invite Podcast, episode 116. Yeah, we kicked it off already. I mean, I was trying to alley-oop it, but Patty over here didn't pick up my vibe, so you know. But Patty is pretty dope at what she does. And you know, I would want her to be more of a presence, but she's out saving the world because you know she's secretly a millionaire.
I hate him so much.
She's like on some Bruce Wayne shit, some Tony Stark shit. Like,
I'm here for this.
I hate him.
What I mean? Like on everything. Like seriously, and she's not here because she just don't want to be. It's just not convenient for her. What's she gonna do? Fly all the jet from all the way to the other side of the world to come do the podcast with me? You feel me?
I
Like.
would for you. If it was absolutely
I mean, you're here, so so you know, I mean, you know, I thank you, appreciate
Shut
you. You know what
I'm
I'm saying? I don't know what gas in the G4 costs nowadays, but you know, I'm assuming that you got it like
come
that.
by ostrich. I come by flightless bird.
But I was giving Britt. We got Britt in the building, by the way, everybody.
Hello.
For everybody listening, you know, it's our resident specialist. You know, she specializes in all kinds of things, but most importantly, being herself. She's in the building to come chop it up with us. And earlier, before off camera, we were talking about the history of how we got to this point as far as the podcast, because originally when we relaunched it finally, because the podcast existed a few times, I've done kind of like, I'll do like a few episodes to see how it's received, or I'll do this, just interviews of my folks and people that I know that are working and shit. And eventually it got to the point where I was like, I need to either do this consistently or not do it at all. So I was like, remember I was talking to you about it. I'm like, I'm gonna start when we're gonna try to look for a co-host and we're gonna kick this shit off. We did 2019, right?
I think it was maybe earlier than that, wasn't it?
2019.
Okay. We've done a lot in a little bit.
Because remember our first season, half of it was we were in Corona, we were in COVID, on lockdown.
Okay.
So the first season of this, right, we're in Corona lockdown. Eventually, we lost our co-host. She left. She had to handle her business. You feel what I'm saying? She had some shit going on. Shout out to Steph. We got to this point. I was telling her how you would jump in because Steph left. Mm-hmm. You would jump in and do the podcast with me to help keep it going. Besides the fact that you already had a role, Patty already had a role fucking with us as far as just doing the producer and helping me out with content and other things. And you know her you know, she's, when you run a Fortune 500 company, I mean, I'm sure you could sprinkle your peoples with some game. In fact, a matter of fact, I'm sure you could hook your people up with like an investment or something. But see, Patty's like, she's too honorable for that. You know what I'm saying? She wants me to work for it, you know, and I get it. You know, she wants me to get it out the mud and shit.
Around here,
nah, there's definitely not
at all.
Pat don't give a fuck, struggle or not. I'm out here eating scrimps and linguinis and shit.
He's lying.
It's all good though. But we got here like that. We're here now. We got you in the building. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been busy.
Busy?
Yeah.
Busy world, yeah. Got to stay busy nowadays.
You do.
How
I don't
you feel?
think you have a choice, kind of, especially in
No.
our country, or at least in our local area. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know people who aren't busy.
Yeah. No, for real. I swear my life. It's like the never endingness.
Yeah.
As an adult, it just never
I don't like the
ends.
rat race.
Like, it's always
digging
something. You're just like, oh, okay. Things are looking up, and then, oh, something happens. And
And that goes back to me, and then I go back to be, why are we all doing this?
That part.
Why are we all participating in this madness? Like,
Yeah, I wish shit. But see, the thing is like I feel like y'all, but it's also you know, we kind of got to pay that extra price for living in California, even if we didn't want to, and that's not how we grew up or how it was. But I mean, shit, everything's so expensive. They didn't turn just this whole part of California into like worldwide presence, you know, with all the technology firms. They got everything, all the shit they got. That's kind of what drove everything, you know, up to begin with.
And not just that, but it's the climate the soil. I think, what is it? They say?
Aliens, motherfucking conspiracies, you know what I'm saying? Who shot JFK, all that shit. You know what I mean? Wizards, leprechauns,
so to speak.
all that shit. I'm just sorry.
Unicorns.
You know what I mean? All the shit that's plotting
Snow
against
White
us.
and the Seven Dwarfs. Like,
We all gotta come together against that shit. Sorry, my bad. I'm just trying to rally the
Teddy
troops.
Bear's beating you up.
I know.
You got the right shirt on, but the wrong idea.
It's so funny. But all of that makes it a desirable place to.
No,
to
it definitely.
live.
Well, I mean, it is now. It's like anything
that's
else.
kind
Like
of how humans
same thing with
are.
like New York. You go out there and
Right.
shit like that. It's like ridiculous. It's like hell no, y'all
Yeah.
got me fucked up. I've been here. I feel like that old motherfucker. Get out! I've been here. You motherfuckers just moved in over here.
Get off my
Fuck out of
stoop.
here! Yeah, get out. Pick up that shit before you
That's
leave.
what I'm saying. Like, turn down the heater. I could so see that from you. Like,
It's real. I'm really not like that, but yeah, it's crazy. But
I dig it,
yeah,
but I could see it.
so how's life?
Just
Comes at you fast, huh?
it does. Like, I can't believe we're in 2023. Like, that
Facts.
blows my mind.
It does.
And then I thought about it. What was it, like a couple days ago? I was like, in 10 years, my son's gonna be graduating high school.
I know that
And
feeling.
that kind of made me feel away because 10 years isn't such a far.
Doesn't feel so long.
It doesn't.
For us.
Right.
But for the babies.
Right. And so,
That's them hitting milestones and shit. Like,
yeah.
yeah, me watching it. Now I know my son graduated like 2 years ago, and I was just like, yo, fuck. I was like, old. And on top of that, it was just cool to see it because I didn't. So to watch him like, you know, step out, you know, from beyond that, it was cool. I was like, cool, yeah, I ain't got to worry about him, you know.
How does that feel, though?
It feels weird because you still see your baby, but it's not your baby no more, and you kind of got to treat him accordingly, you know. And it's also weird because that anxiety of being a parent never goes away.
Yeah.
You're always gonna worry about your kid. You're always gonna be like, hey, where are you?
He's always going to be your baby.
Yeah, exactly.
No
And
matter
and
what.
unfortunately, and it's just, and you know, that's not only is that love and that bond, but that's that instinct of ours, you know. So at the end of the day, it's just, you know, it sucks. Have another one.
That's why people do that.
Yeah,
They be
real
like,
talk. Real talk. Oh, this
baby
kid
girl
don't like me.
movie.
I was like, this kid don't like. I gotta have another one because now ain't gonna look out for me. I'm gonna be fucking old.
Oh,
and
like a
ain't
pancake.
nobody
Oh,
gonna
that
love
one's
me.
no good. Throw
Yeah.
that one to the
Can't be
side.
trusted.
Yeah, I love them all, but yeah, I don't know about you. You know what I mean? Nah, my kid's good though. I ain't gonna lie. I got lucky. So to me, I'm blessed because he ain't nothing like I was, especially at that age. I was doing too
Wildin'.
much. Too much. You know what I'm saying?
When I think about it, how we talk about like kids doing stuff now, granted, there's obviously a lot more technology. We were wild.
We were
Like,
wild.
there was some out of pocket moments where I was like, wait a minute, I had to think about it. And I was like, I was 12.
How did I not die?
I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, what was happening?
And the thought of kids now in that era, there's nobody knows where I'm at. I'm drunk. I'm 13 years old. I'm stoned. Anything could happen to me and fucking no one would fucking know. It's like, but I'm out here wilding anyways and shit. So when I think about it,
On
it's
your
like
bike though.
on my bike.
On your bike though. Hella
Robin.
bad for no reason.
Man.
Like just wilding.
Man, doing
like,
out of pocket shit and just real. No, what's even
Kids
more
do
worse
that
is
still today. It just depends on where they're from and where they grow up.
it depends on, you know, obviously who's home. You know, what's the presence like,
Right.
because you know, for me, you know, like my mom worked all the time, so we took care of ourselves. So hell yeah, we went out there and we were doing all kinds of shit. You know, that's what it was. But it was also a different generation though,
That is true.
because the generation and the way things are now, I feel like us knowing all the shit that we did and we got away with and that almost happened but didn't happen type shit. That now the way we raise our kids and combined with technology out, they prefer to be in the house, and we're not gonna argue that because, you know, we know that it.
Rather
could
have
be
you
out
still in
raising
the car
hell.
in GTA or
Yeah,
over
you
there
could be
shooting
out- you
people
could be outside
on,
raising hell, like,
Call
fuck
of
all
Duty
that.
than doing it out in the street and really stealing somebody's car because that's
don't
what
know.
some of us were doing.
But I'm saying, but when we were younger, there was still like that, like moral integrity. I feel like that does not exist anymore.
No, I don't.
Like, it's like weird. Like, nobody was.
I
shooting.
There was a limit.
Yeah,
you know what
to
I
an
mean?
extent.
I mean, there was always
extent.
bad shit. There was
But-
always too much, but there was like, as far as people's mentality, there was a limit. Like, you know,
I think
even back
there's,
then,
like,
there was like
a few factors that contributed. Now there's more people.
Yeah.
Now there's more people. Another thing is that people aren't as sociable and communal as they were back then, because you were forced to talk to people face to face. You were forced to socialize. Whether it was good or bad, because sometimes you would get into fights when you would socialize.
Yeah.
But like when you lose that connection, you lose respect for people in a sense. You forget that they're human. And then you think everything is kind of like a simulation.
It is.
And that's what I've
You
kind
start
of
getting
like,
desensitized is what it is.
Yeah.
But see,
social media is supposed to connect us, but it kind of
exposes
it kind
you
of
to a
like
lot.
it fakes it. It just is like a substitute, but it's not like real. Like
It's
good, but also could be bad.
But that kind of I actually, it's funny that we're talking about this, because I just was watching this thing on YouTube. I listened to a whole bunch of just different people, but he was talking about how this like generation specifically is more violent, is more volatile than previous generations, is because of how much there is crime or things that is violence seen daily on TV, media, like
Just,
all of that.
yes.
Like he was talking about how it has been proven, and I don't want to get all like, because I don't have all my stuff
Please
pulled
do.
up.
You don't have to.
But
it's all right.
I don't have
He
my
always
side.
emphasizes that this show is not a fact check show. Like,
But no, but I like to
emphasizes that
cite stuff because that's
don't
important.
quote us on anything.
But don't.
Yeah, I won't be
This,
talking about
don't.
shit that I don't know. That's
But
for sure.
so disclaimer,
Maybe.
my stats
Right.
might be off, but this is what I heard.
This is what I heard.
This
Yeah.
is what I inferred from the information I collected so far.
The amount of violence that's seen daily, it like chemically changes your brain.
I believe it.
And so if we think about what is seen now at like on constant, like we were fighting back in the day, but it wasn't being recorded. It wasn't like the amount of exposure kids have at such a young age that it's just ingrained, and you get desensitized. Your brain literally just kind
You
of
just look at something like
shifts.
it's not fucking real.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Think about the school shootings, right? Remember when with the Columbine, when that happened, that was like
Crazy.
monumental.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh dang, like another school
shit.
got shot up, and it's like crazy when we think just those and the those comparisons of now and when we were younger, and the amount of nobody's doing anything. Everybody's staying in. Everybody's watching TV. Everybody's kind of, and
Nothing
everything
kinda
has
real.
violence. Yes.
There's no like, because if you don't have consequences, you kind of fail to experience what the reality of things are, and that
Yeah,
goes
it's
for
not
everybody.
real.
Everybody, whether it's like, you know, like you have a problem, like if somebody has an addiction and there are no consequences to the addiction, they're going to keep doing that, and they're going to be disconnected from the reality that it is a problem. So it's kind of, I think it's kind of like the same thing when you don't interact with other people aside from your family or what you just see on TV or in the media on the internet. It's like you forget that in the real world it doesn't function like that. Like,
Right.
like it's not, that's not reality in that sort of sense. Like that's
Because even I trip out how when people get caught for doing heinous shit, like I'm like, yo, you knew that there was cameras. You knew.
Thank
that there
you.
was
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
It's like, and you did it anyways. It's like back in the day, it wasn't. I mean, there wasn't as many cameras, but people were like, didn't even really get down on you like that unless they absolutely had to. You know, now it's just like, it's
and
different.
you see it more, and like you said, so people think that it's more normal. It gets normalized, and then
I kinda
it
feel
even
like-
gets romanticized and
yeah.
glamorized.
Yes.
Well, and I also kind of feel like with this whole social media, it's like globalized, and you know, there's like a lot of other places that are let's keep it absolutely funky. The United States does kind of live under that little thin veil of like, you know, everything's good, everything's cool. You know what I'm saying? You go to other countries, it'd be like real violence and shit, and
Right.
shit happening in the street that doesn't really happen normally like that out here.
Sugarcoat
That's-
stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Make
But-
everything look nice and everything
but
look
that's,
presentable.
you know, and unfortunately that's the real reality. Maybe not here, but in other places in the world and shit. And I feel like with the social media and everything, and kind of globalizing the United States and its morals and how things used to be, and how, you know, and then now people are more like how other countries are, where they're a lot more fucking heartless in other countries about shit. You know, so
I will tell you a story. Like, just talk about like the comparison.
soft-hearted.
A lady I go to the gym with, she's from Eastern Europe, and she was telling me how when she had her daughter, that they had her on a metal bed and were like, "You need to push." Like, she was like, she was like, there was no like buffer. Like they were like, shut up, you're screaming too loud. And so when she came here and she came to the United States and had another kid, they were like, she was like, what is this? I'm not used to everybody. Do you want some water? Do you want an extra pillow?
That's crazy.
Right. And it just, she was like, it was such a different experience. Like just the comparison.
That's scary.
Right.
See, because you got to also look at it like this. Okay, we live where we live at, and we're blessed. We're fortunate to be here, right? You know, a lot of bullshit happens because of the way we are to maintain the lifestyle that we live out here. But you look at these other countries, it's like their violence is way the norm compared to us. It's way different, you know, and it's not even that far away countries. Look at Mexico. Mexico's right next to us. And they go down out there in a major motherfucking way. And see, the thing is that I agree with y'all. When it comes to social media, you just see all of that more. And you see all of it more, and you learn how to turn off that feeling. Like when I was young, whenever if we wanted to see shit like that, we'd have to like go find those Faces of Death videos and to watch all that bullshit. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers wanted to watch that, but people weren't really watching that unless you actually lived somewhere where motherfuckers was dropping bodies like that.
You was really looking for it, like you said.
Exactly.
It wasn't just there.
Yeah.
It didn't pop up on a suggested page on
or
your
an
feed.
ad or like
Right.
it's crazy.
Nah, we talk about that a lot, and I tell people all the time, it's like, just remember, no matter what you do on social media, what you see, that shit ain't real. You can't let it dictate how you move in life or how you feel about yourself, because at the end of the day, it's just
It's
everybody's.
It's
It's the front door. It's your front yard on Christmas. Put it that way. Everybody got a different setup, and everybody tries to make it look as best as possible. But what's inside of the house is a different story, and everybody don't see that. And since they don't promote that, and there's not they don't promote like people going, how life really is, ups and downs, and it ain't always glamorous, and everybody don't always got everything.
But it's not always bad either. It's
No,
just, like,
exactly.
trying to
But
make
see,
it
that's the
violent.
thing.
If this is like normal, like she was saying, like this.
Well,
is,
I'm a
this is
firm.
okay
I'm a
in
believer
sense.
that fear is control.
Yeah.
So, if anybody could scare you enough to not manipulate, but scare you enough to react in a way that's favorable to what they want, then they're winning.
And it's framed that way. So I hope like we can get that message across so that it's framed.
Well, I think that
certain
I
ways,
think
absolutely it is.
And
Yes.
it's crazy and it's weird that people are able to do that.
It's just like, and then when you go like deep sea diving in truth, you really see some stuff where you're like, wait a minute, like you just see how everything is, like you said, positioned, like everything is seen from an angle.
And then you start questioning, well, what is reality? Because all we can do is perceive life through our own psyche, so there is no truth. Like you start like
really
I already
into
told you
it.
how I feel about that shit.
what is real? Like
right? Where is this?
That's when we start having crisis and shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Start wearing extra small clothes and
That's
shit.
why
And try to
people
hang
do
out with all the young
shrooms.
motherfuckers and shit. But yeah, life. It. I don't know. We talk about it a lot on the podcast because we understand, I guess, over here what the I could say there's value to it, but there's also the dangers of social media. And I tell people all the time, like, yo, don't take this shit seriously. Don't I fuck with you in real life, so just know that. So if I fuck with you in real life, you ain't got to worry about what the fuck is going on in social media, because I've even had instances where people would like hit me up, is like, bro, are you talking about me? Like, to where I stopped posting quotes. I stopped posting quotes. I'm like, bro, if I was talking to you, I wouldn't be talking about you or to you. I wouldn't be talking to you on this fucking platform
you
about this
talking
shit.
about me?
Yeah, and but see, that's
song is
but the thing is that that's what I'm saying, is insecurities though, and that's what a lot of shit. Look, I'm gonna share a hot take with you that I heard, and I want to get y'all. Excuse me. I want to get y'all opinion.
So gross into the mic.
Hey.
You gonna take all these ablutions. You gonna listen to all these.
I'm gonna have to take them all out. This dude I seen on Instagram, he had an opinion about what's it called. Now I'm gonna share this opinion and say I'm gonna let you know how I feel about it. He was saying that the reason why this generation is different, and there's so much killing and so much drama and stuff, is because more and more kids are being raised by a single parent. And hold on, and this is just like, hold on, let me finish everything out. And look, because I was raised by a single parent, so this pertains to me very much too. So I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it. But they were saying, and what it is that men learn. What happens is that, especially men, he says, men that are raised by women, you know what I'm saying, they think or react differently than how a man, quote unquote, should. So for that, they have more. What he was saying was like female tendencies as far as like how their emotions and how they act. So don't worry about it. So he said that, I forgot. You know what? I wish I had the clip right now so I could actually reference it. But basically, in the short term, he was saying that they have more female tendencies because they were raised by women, and what happens is that the way they deal with things, as far as like, you know, getting your feelings hurt. And I don't know, it sounded a little iffy on my thing, but I wanted to get your opinion on that because the way he broke it down, that's basically what he was trying to say, is that because there's of a broken home and not having that male energy in their life, that men learn how to they don't react and deal with things differently. You know, they work with supposedly like jealousy and more shit like that leads to violence and stuff. And so I want to get your opinion on that, because I'm not saying I subscribe to that, Thomas, because I don't that's like a blanket statement. You dig what I'm saying? And I don't think that applies to everybody.
So, okay, so I have a few things. One, I would love to hear the clip because I would wonder why jealousy is referenced as a female trait.
That's one of the reasons why I was like...
Like that, you know, like that doesn't even make sense. And I guess what is considered a female tendency? Okay, women are technically considered more emotional than men. Men are more logical. But wouldn't that be subjective to any era that you grow up in and how you grow up? And, you know, everybody's parents are different. And as a single parent, I don't know if I could agree with that. I actually did a study on this when I was in school, and it was talking about more so educational, like what are the odds of a successful student when a two-parent home compared to a single-parent home. And really what I found in the research is it didn't matter the parents in the home. It mattered the environment. What was that environment like? So, you know, if you have a parent who is not present, and it was when they are present, more so nowadays, they're in their phones, or, you know, everybody's like on some
or
type
toxic
of screen,
as fuck,
you know, or toxic,
doing foul shit in front of their
think
kids they shouldn't be doing.
I actually was just talking about this recently, and I was like, I think that our generation was the best generation because we knew tradition, but now we also know technology, and I think that
I like that.
Tradition is slowly just trickling out. Like people,
We're talking about that on the podcast too. You're right. Keep going.
Oh, no. So I was just, you know, so tradition's slowly trickling out, and like the dynamics of a home is different now. It's not like there's that quality time where Saturday you knew whatever was coming on and it was a family event. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's on
Everybody
their own
have
stuff.
dinner, or we had this.
Yes, and then
the family structure, in other words. Like,
yes, the structure. It's completely different, you know?
I think one of the key factors is intimacy. Just in general. And intimacy isn't like a romantic thing.
Yes, yeah.
Intimacy, just because when you would spend quality time together, you were forced to eat dinner together, as much as you might have hated it. It forced you to get to know each other, to be around each other, to, again, socialize. Like, and I think same thing with how we were talking about being desensitized and being exposed to the violence. You don't meet real people, so you don't, again, humanize them. So there's no intimacy there. There's no connection. Like
it's not real to you.
So the single parent home, it wouldn't necessarily matter, like you said.
Yeah.
About two parents or not. It matters about how intimate maybe you guys are.
Do you know your kid?
Yeah.
No.
Have you took the time to talk to your kid? Can you and your kids speak about real shit together? Teach each other. But see, the thing, this is why I said, like, I didn't really subscribe to that. It's kind of a blanket theory, but I've been hearing it a couple of times. And there's some dude, obviously, that was in prison for a long period of time. But I already knew it didn't apply when it came to stuff like that, because I know some bad motherfuckers that ain't about none of that shit that was raised by their mama. You feel me? And they ain't about none of that bullshit. You know, that to me, that's more character shit than it is who you are. You know what I mean? Like that's shit that's nigga. You pick that bad habit up doing some stupid shit.
More beneficial to have two people.
No, it's always beneficial to have. I think it.
You know, a life.
So here's how.
Is that like?
I think what's important is we have to remember, right, that what our kids see love is amongst parents, that's what their idea of love is going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think understanding connection, and that can be good or bad, for a 2-parent home may show the child a different perspective as opposed to a single mom who doesn't have that intimate connection with
and not just that,
else.
but only has one view.
And
you
in
know?
one, exactly.
And no matter if
it's just so harder with that because honestly, if to me, I believe
like
it could.
Aunt or a partner or just another family member, like another perspective.
If people are separated and they're co-raising their kids and they see that their dad is with somebody and mom's with somebody, they're in relationships, but they could be cordial to each other, they could be respectful, they could, then they start to understand that it's different. You know what I mean? It's like it's the thing is it starts at home with all this. Your example, like how you said, what the child sees and how they see it's going to matter a lot. Now, we can't control how other people act. We could only control how we are with them and show them, through our examples that we can, whatever that, what's right and what's wrong. But yeah, it's difficult, when it comes to shit like that,
but
because
you don't like the blanket statement. You're like,
no, I didn't. I just didn't from that. I just knew it was. I mean, I get what he was saying, what he was trying to say. He probably said it a little better, but even then, that was the flaw to me. I'm like, yo, those things sound more like character issues and shit instead of fucking like them just being who they are, how they were raised. Because I was raised by a loving mother. She didn't do nothing wild. She just worked all the time. So I chose to go out and do shit. You know what I mean? That was a character thing. It had nothing to do with, my household or who was there that raised me. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, But I wanted to get y'all opinion on that because a lot of people are like, I'm like, yo, I don't think you understand enough about how people are or how they function in order for you to say these things. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I also think we live in a generation where everybody's feelings get hurt. Everything is politically correct.
Yeah, we've been saying that.
If you can't, if you have a different opinion, you're wrong.
Again, we're shunning away from reality in so many different ways. And then again, offended. That's intimacy. To really experience.
Make you cold-hearted, you feel me?
What people are actually going through or how you feel because we want to be, like you said, PC. We want to not hurt anybody's feelings. But it's like, this is real life.
I tell my clients all the time, I said, we're adults, hurt feelings are going to happen.
But this is real
life.
Just
accept it. Hurt
feelings
die.
Everybody's not going to always take your feelings into consideration.
The reality of life. It would be nice if we didn't live in that world, but unfortunately, that is the reality of life. And as humans, we need to be able and encourage each other to be able to cope with real life, not bury our heads in the sand and be dismissive of it because I don't know from what
or just
I've
suppress
observed,
it and crack jokes about it like it's nothing so that
that can be a coping mechanism as long as you're not trying to use that to avoid dealing with it and that's how you deal with it, that's different. But if we don't, I think it's just making things worse.
Just push it down there and
that's why people shoot up
schools
because they just
I feel you. I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit. Don't listen to me, y'all. Okay, look. There's times when you'll hear me talking shit on this podcast when my shit ain't no good. So don't listen to me.
Turn off the radio right now.
But we're in the building. Episode
287.
116. Nah. Stop hating. Yes, 116. Episode 116. We got P Diddy in the building.
How many Modelos have you had?
Just 2. This is my second one. Why you acting like I'm faded or something? I mean, I'm lit. I'm lit like we smoked a joint, but I ain't.
Because you talking shit.
But you know what though? This is me, and you know this. So I'm not gonna change because we're doing a podcast. You hear me? This would be happening regardless, mic on or off. You know what I mean? So
I'm me.
I gotta be me.
Only I can make me bleed my own blood.
Exactly. So I was trying to get Ann in here, but Ann got, she got the sickness. She's down with the sickness right now. So it's best that she stays where she is. Big shout outs to Ann. I kind of changed the date. We normally record on Sundays, so I ended up changing the date and moved it to Friday because I really need those extra days. I feel From now
going
on, that's
forward.
probably
Okay.
gonna be the vibe, and I know it's probably gonna harsh everybody's fucking Friday, but I don't care. Like whatever, you don't gotta be here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here tonight. So I'm gonna give you a
Out of
motherfucking
all
ass
the
show.
bars and all the...
In all this town, you feel me?
You had to walk into mine.
But yeah, that's kind of the vibe, and only because I feel like with those extra days, I could make the delivery of a lot smoother. I like to add sound effects. I'm a sound effects junkie, so I like to add
artist
sound.
at heart. That he's a Foley artist at heart.
Yeah, I am.
He be in here making the sound effects himself just
I be
because he
doing
thinks it's fun and shit.
fully interpretive. What's it called? Audio clips. So if you understand my soul, then when I
You
play
hear
this for
popping
you,
hell
you'll
bubble
know.
wrap.
Right.
All
Have
that
little
shit.
foghorns, like, and hear
Everything.
himself. His closet's full of all those little sound makers.
Pour some what's it called? Some cornflakes on the ground and crunch through them and walk through snow.
Hella foil, crumpled hella foil.
I'm serious as fuck though. So stop making fun of me.
I like that shit.
Stop making fun of me. But it's the Nova, it's the new year.
Where's Esther?
Hot mama.
Oh, excuse me.
Just put her whole
Oh my
name
god,
out
I wish
there in the
everybody could see
streets.
his face when he
Hey.
just said that right
Hey.
now, how he corrected me.
Hey, just put her whole name out in the
Excuse
streets
me,
right now.
that's what he just did.
Sorry, Esther. She done got you out there.
She showed about a she show about a she show.
Yeah, I mean we don't know. Stop talking to me like that. Shit.
Daffy Duck.
Shit. Come on, man. Stop playing. Hey, we were talking about that because there was some dude that the other day at work he had a fat ass lisp. It's crazy.
Thought you were gonna say something else.
That's terrible. You're a horrible human being. You know that. You talking about how many drinks? How many fucking drinks have you had?
Not that many.
Yeah,
is
but
just me naturally.
enough for you not to want to fucking drive here, huh?
I'm tired. I'm so tired. But what were you saying? Dude has a lisp.
Nah, we were talking about Hot Mama initially though. She's not here right now. She, like I said, I changed it at the last minute, so I didn't know who the fuck was gonna be down, who wasn't. The main important thing is that y'all made it, and we're here, and it's the new year. Patty, what the
We
fuck?
are here.
What the fuck is your plans for the New Year's, Patty? What's
I don't
what's
fucking
on
have
your
plans.
what's on the agenda? You ain't got no goals and any short term.
I always have goals and agendas. I just never talk about them.
You
I'm
know?
not comfortable with talking about them.
Okay, I forgot you're a fucking billionaire. Patty has fear. Patty fears of getting kidnapped and held for ransom because she's so wealthy. But yet you'll see her. But yet you'll see her walking like at protests and shit, just like with nobody. Seemingly nobody.
I wish you could just like say these stories and they would just like come to life like instantly.
Right, that's why we saying them though. That's why I'm saying them though. Like Patty gonna be a billionaire. Like stop playing.
Wild imagination.
Yeah,
Hilarious to me.
$1 billion philanthropist Patty, aka 16th world.
According
Yeah,
to him.
so like I said, she gonna let her people hold it down a little while longer on the bricks while she's out balling. But I get it, We'll be here. We'll be here when you're ready.
It's not really the new year, I don't really.
No, I know that, but look, it's
the
not for me. It's
Gregorian
for the
calendar either,
people.
I'm a weirdo.
We're here to motivate the people, though.
It's about to be real New Year's because it's about to be spring.
Okay, fucking
Patty
astrology and shit, fucking.
Chinese New Year too.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm always just trying to be better. I think what I have been thinking about a lot is being more communal. Because like how you said,
you mean stop being a fucking creep that stays all by yourself and flying all around the world with not speaking to anybody. all your fucking helpers.
But just like in general, just because I was talking to somebody about that, like they were talking about how there was a difference between like the East Coast and the West Coast, and like they were like, yeah, you do really well on the West Coast because I'm kind of crass. I cuss a lot. Like I could cuss somebody out and keep it moving.
She likes to fight too, though. Let's not leave that out.
And just keep it like, hey, fuck you, fuck you, and just keep walking like, cause you be mad like out here in the Bay, like. People kind of take it personal, and it will start a fight, and people will pull out guns, and like it's just different. And out there, it's like you would think that they're more aggressive and more. What's so funny to you right now?
Because I could picture you doing all that shit, talking about fighting and pulling out guns and shit.
What's wrong with you? But anyway,
I'm just playing.
But then they lived on the East Coast, and then they moved to California. And they were like, no, out here it's like more like me against you. We're more individualistic minded. That's kind of like the American way in general, you know, capitalism, etc. And a lot of other countries are not so much like that. They weren't communal. Like, even when Anne was telling me about her trip to Colombia, right? She said that when she went on it, it was like old school shit, like stuff that my grandpa used to talk to me about. Like, he used to say, like, yeah, I used to walk, you know, from here to school, from my house, and I would get asked, you know, like, by 5 different people, like, do you want some food? Like, because they knew your parents, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, do you need help? And they're like, no. And like, that's how it kind of was like in Colombia. Anne said she was like, everywhere she was greeted, and they brought them into their home, and they were super hospitable. Like, they were just, it was a community.
I don't. You know what? I don't believe that East Coast West Coast shit neither, though, because we just talked about this in the group chat. Dude, got upset that he held the door open for somebody, and the guy didn't say thank you. So he confronted him because he was upset. I know what you're talking about. And they got into a fight, and dude killed him.
But I think like,
so that's some East Coast shit. That's some New York shit.
True.
So I feel like, once again, that's a blanket statement. And
it's not a blanket, but it's just what you observed, and you kind of like. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's like
pussy everywhere though.
I don't. God.
No, but look.
But there's validity in it as well. Like, I think
I get that.
Like, we're kind of just too much. Like, there was also another topic that we're talking about, how people weren't gonna help this old lady that needed help with groceries or something like that, because I thought it was a setup for like human trafficking and things of that nature. So people really didn't offer help, or like the whole thing, like, would you ever hold? Yeah, because people do that. Like, the females are like bait.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
human trafficking. You got me fucked up. I'm gonna need you to stand up, lady. Let me see. Let me see your leg. Let me see your ankle. You know why?
But do we get to that point to where we don't want to hold doors for people? We don't want to help an old lady with their groceries? Like, are we really getting to, like, I don't ever want to be like, that's it.
But
did you hear? Like, I feel it. I get it. But then that's life, and that's always been life. There's always been danger. There's always been bullshit. Yeah. Like, you could read in the Bible how people fucked over each other. Like, like, I don't know. That's so right. I'm trying to be more communal in a sense, like, to where it's not so me against you. That ain't my problem. Or like, I'm gonna mind my business, but I'm also like, because it's not gonna change because like how, you know, the way to make something work is you have to have a team. You can't do it by yourself. We need to have each other. Like, so that's
you can't, says the most antisocial member of this podcast.
Well, that's how I know.
I hope you're right. I hope
that's how I know I can't
see you more. So I can count on you. I can count on you then for next weekend too. Is what I'm saying. I might shoot my shot right now. Can you get out next weekend on the podcast? We'll see. We're gonna see how communal she really is. Don't talk to me about no motherfucking.
So that's kind of something that I've kind of put into my mind.
That's dope. I like that though, and I'm cracking jokes, but it's like, I mean,
because everybody's like, well, I want to do it this way. I want to not even do it your way, just more again, not communal. In other countries, like you said, you observed, it's not the same. Like, I like being in the military. Was there like a community, a camaraderie, like amongst?
Yeah,
was it cliquey though? It was, or was everybody fucking with everybody?
And you feel the difference being in civilian life as to compare to that?
Yes,
like the way that people just interact with each other.
I wouldn't say it's cliquey. Like, you really hang out with like the most randomest people. Like,
right. I would love that.
It's like working at a job.
I love that shit.
I used to smoke Newports for many years, and so like they have like a little smoke pit like that are outside of the barracks, and you chop it up with people that you would never like imagine. Like, there's like this meme like it's going around. It's like you have a cowboy, and then you have like a goth guy, and like we all just somehow end up talking. You know what I'm saying? But no, it wasn't cliquey. It just depends on your job too. Like, every job. So I was quartermaster. So like the logisticians, supply, cooks and stuff like that. So like we all kind of hung together because we were all usually like in the same
industry, basically.
Yeah, the same unit. So like we all knew each other through them, you know. So like it was just maybe by unit, but
was there?
But there's a community.
Right.
Yes, there is absolutely a community. It's not the same, like,
you go out in public here and it's just kind of like,
I was like,
down, do what you do. Like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like,
what? So in the military, there's like this safety net. Like, you know, like you have like, regardless of however like you have leadership there. If something were to happen, you have in civilian life, don't nobody care about you.
You're crashing and burning. You're on your own. They're gonna watch. They're gonna watch.
And
That's
so
what
I
I'm
think that's
saying.
something that when I was very like, oh, I'm out here on my
On
own.
your own, every man for themselves. Like
Literally.
it's not like this everywhere.
And so
In the world,
you know,
it's not like this. It's crazy.
Fuck that. It
but
is, bro.
but
It is, but
I
it
will
isn't.
say it's really
like-
cool for me because you only knew someone or hung out with them because you essentially either worked together or, you know what I'm saying, like that's, or you in the barracks or whatever like that. But like outside, like I'm like, oh, I know freaking doctors, I know like medical doctors, I like personally I know teachers, I know people who like
Interesting.
do things outside of what you're like, oh,
Your field.
right,
Yeah, in a
oh, that's
sense,
what you
yeah.
do, okay, me too, you're like, oh wow, like how is that, how is that, like it's so cool to hear everybody's journey, like, and then as we're coming out of quarantine, like I'm being able to be more social and be more out and kind of talk to people, and so it's just cool, like I have it's like a whole new world for me, just because even in quarantine we were still stuck, and when you're in the military, it's like you're stuck, like you're around those same
But
group
even
of people,
in
and then
work,
transitioning
out in civilian life, people
Yeah.
don't have that mindset. If you're
I'm
at
gonna
work,
keep it
you're
real
like,
with
I
you.
just
You know
work
what?
with this motherfucker.
I was locked
like,
up. I was
It's not the
incarcerated
same
for some
mindset.
time, and I was incarcerated with a few vets, and a lot of them said that there's a lot of similarities between how prison is ran and how the military
low-key.
ran.
Yeah,
because
no.
they're both institutions.
You have to get up at a certain time. You have to be somewhere. I mean, it's easy. Really, the
You have
military
authority.
is, it's the military, I think, in my personal opinion, I think everybody should have to do at least one term. And why do I say that? Because I feel like it gives you a good foundation. It gives you structure. It gives, and that's discipline. It also helps like, how to work with others, like you learn like adult skills, but then there's that safety net of like, I know the military is going to take care of me.
Yeah. In prison it's like that too, but it's like there ain't no safety net.
Yeah, I know that.
And we stab each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we get in riots and we'll be community and we'll all be cool, everybody get along, and then a riot will kick off and then we'll just be stabbing each other and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, with plastic metal objects.
Shanks.
with shivs. But no, but and I get the similarities and stuff like that too, because at the same time, it's a way to it's to be organized. When you organize in a lot of people, you organize in a mass amount of people and stuff like that. But yeah, we got a lot of that in prison. As far as like that same kind of thing. I met people from all the way from L.A., San Diego, all the way up north.
Now that
all
is
points
cool.
in between. Yeah,
I will say, being in the military, I've met people
From
I mean,
all over,
I've been to so many places, so like it's real cool to like you say, you hear things people live different, like you're like, oh my gosh, like what? But then at the same time, and this is what we were talking about earlier, like you find you have so many similarities with so many different people. You have things like, oh, I grew up like that too, I would have never thought you did.
You
or
guys understood each other, you had intimacy.
right. So I think like,
I think also it's California, because a lot of people, when you move to these other states, it's just different. Because I went to Arizona, and I'm not gonna lie, I had it's not like I went out there for vacationing. I was out there on business, but it was like I had a great time. The people were really respectful. Everything, just the vibe, more welcoming. It was more of that. But see, the way I look at it, like I said, when I brought it up earlier about California being like.
It's not all of California. It's just
it ain't all of California, yeah, because you could go to Eastern California and stuff like that. I lived out there too for a while. You know what I'm saying? But you can go out that way, and it's more rural and shit, so it's different. People hold on to those values and the traditions. But see, since we're talking about like California, we're talking about LA, the Bay Area, Sacramento, and stuff like that. Those places are starting more and more to be more globalized. So as you get that, you kind of lose that tradition, and you kind of get more of like that global identity. And a lot of that global identity, sometimes a lot of it, the way I look at it, is really like just heartless. You feel me? It's not. It's not because there is no
kind of how to survive and how to.
Well,
live.
yeah, because now you're in a place not only where you're trying to survive in your environment, but you're surviving in an environment where there's millions and thousands of people that come to your city, like New York or San Francisco or LA and Sacramento. They come from all over the world. They come to your city to come check it out and live out here and try to stake their claim or do whatever the fuck they do. So now it's like they really don't know what time it is with you, and you don't know what time they on. You don't know if they give a fuck about anything either, or only themselves. It's like, so it's different.
Yeah.
Because like I said, going out to Arizona, I mean, everybody was really nice, respectful. Motherfuckers ain't even speeding on the freeway, really doing the speed limit. I'm like, well, we coasting. I'm like, all right, good shit. Yeah.
I heard it's like that.
I feel like I was the asshole driving because I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like
getting in and out of
New
lanes
York,
and shit.
I would be like, laid back. I'd be like,
well, who's this fucking person over here?
No, but I also heard it's like that in Hawaii. Like I heard somebody like they moved to Hawaii and they were driving on the freeway and they're like, why the fuck does everybody drive so fucking slow? And then like a month or two later, they're driving the same speed.
Yeah,
No, for real. That's where I lived last. I lived in Hawaii. Yeah, I was stationed in Hawaii. And everything is so like I'm gonna tell you, Hawaii is so chill. Like you really like. There's
too, like,
no. I
that.
know. Yes, there's
assume,
that.
yeah.
Oh, their food is so good, but it's also like everybody just is chill. Like nobody dresses up. You're wearing shorts. You're wearing flip flops. You're wearing a bathing suit or like you know what I'm saying. Like there's not like
no formality.
That. So like coming from the Bay, like everybody knows Bay Area is like everybody got to be on their nines like all the time. Like that's how it was for me at least. And then coming from Hawaii, I was like, oh, I had to learn how to dress again. Like I'm so serious. Like I forgot how to dress. I was like, okay,
because it wasn't
kind of like
it wasn't emphasized.
Oh shit, I gotta wear clothes. Like I gotta wear.
Well, I was in a
clothes.
uniform most of the time. 5-6 days out of the week, I was in a uniform, and then. I had party clothes. Like I had clothes for when I went. When I came back and I had a job, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any clothes. I was like, I have no business clothes at all.
Nothing to wear for this.
Shit. Yeah. So when we talk about it, it's like, I mean, we gotta understand. Just like how we say, you go other places, it's different and stuff. We gotta understand that where we're at, it's different. So other people coming out here from other states that are like that, they'll probably trip off on us like, damn, they're fucking assholes out here. I've heard people say, you guys drive like fucking assholes out there. I'm like, yo.
No, we do.
It's
I'm not gonna lie. The Bay, because I went to LA.
Yeah.
I went to LA and I thought I was like, I've never really been to LA like that. So when I drove there, I thought they were going to be terrible drivers, but the Bay is way worse. Like LA, they were like still saying thank you. Like I still say thank you to people when I drive.
Let people go. At least one person let them in. Come on, let's go.
Cool,
you know what I mean?
Maybe I don't know how it is if it's like there usually, but I was like, oh, this is different. I was like, here you got to be
every man for themselves.
You have to be defensive on that road.
I hear it's like, yo, like I had this lady just I'm trying to get in the next lane in front of her, and she's really racing me. I'm like, bro. Can I get across or not? I got my fucking blinker on. Why can't? So then I'll slow down. I'll slow down so I can get in that lane because I'm trying to get into the other side of the freeway. Right, I'm trying to get into a different direction. I'll get in now. I'll get behind her, and then she'll start going hella slow.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, let me get around you. Like, I'm
trip.
trying to get away from you.
Crazy.
Like, you don't understand. It ain't a competition.
I wonder.
And it do be to people.
Like I wonder if it's subconscious though. Like I wonder if subconsciously people speed up and like maybe it's like
me first.
It's at the wrong time. I'm like, yo. Nah, I mean, I don't know. We're competitive out here in the Bay. We're from that sideshow shit. So maybe somebody's like, "What you trying?" Yo,
migrate here again for the the ideal like place to live. Again, California. Like people moved from New York over here because it was too expensive over there. So people started coming from over there over here. So it's like you said, it's competitive in that sort of way. But I also
you don't
think
ever talking to the mic. It's crazy. Now I think about it. No, you good.
I'm so loud though. I really honestly think I don't need to right now. I'm super loud. I'm just saying. So I kind of think that there's some sort of validity in thinking that like out here might be more individualistic like thinking because the traditions kind of stayed in New York. People kind of, people they come here with their grandparents and their parents and they pass away. So
it also depends on the what's it called too on the area because you know what, a lot of the main places that in New York that are, you know, like staples and historic are not even they're like gentrified. They're not even they're not even of the culture
And
anymore. So it's like it all depends on, and same thing in San Francisco out here too. It's the same shit. I mean, it depends on what part you're at, you know, because it one place doesn't make the culture, but you know what I'm saying, there's some places that are just synonymous with it. You know, so
gentrification, that's a whole nother.
It's all good.
That's a whole other.
The modern colonization.
Oakland. It makes me so sad. They're taking everything out of Oakland.
That's what I was just about to say. That's
like,
so sad.
I'm like, dang.
That is so sad.
Yep.
Like, that's crazy.
They're trying to get the A's out of
the
there.
culture.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's fucked up though, because people don't
destroying
realize
culture.
That I say that all the time.
The modern colonization. That's what I've heard. That's out there, and I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
Hat-based tales.
Yeah. And that's what it is. They take it away from the culture and they make it their own, and then eventually they change it to. They slowly changes to. Because I remember they were having issues in the city because these new businesses were buying these new spots, these locations, these historic locations, and there would be murals that have been there since like the fucking 60s and shit, bro. And like,
and they don't give a fuck.
They would get renovated and everything. And they were trying to paint over them. The city had to stop them. Like, nah, this is deemed a historical. Like, you know.
And the only reason why things are not worse, especially in Oakland, is because the people actually do something about it.
Yeah.
The people who actually really care still, they actually go to the city council meetings. They actually put
make
petitions
it an issue.
Yeah, they actually, because it would be way worse. Like,
yeah.
Because who's going to stop those big companies unless somebody tries to do something about
it? And
it?
it don't even be big companies sometimes. It just be these motherfuckers that got money, you know what I mean? And want to just flip the whole script.
Or sometimes they make money off of the buildings being empty. Sometimes they're like tax write-offs or something of that sort of nature, and they make money from these buildings actually being empty. So they're just like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to do whatever with it, whatever they tell me I need to do to keep it up to code, as long as I keep making money still. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we could go on and on. I mean, but, you know what I'm saying?
we are.
I think we are. I think we did it. I think that was another successful fucking podcast.
We did it.
We literally had not one topic, but we talked about enough dope shit for y'all to fucking understand and relate to. And that's kind of what...
Not one topic was discussed beforehand.
I mean, it was, but nobody cares anyway. So what do y'all know? What do I know? Shit. I appreciate it though. I checked out the stats and shit for the year. I don't know if you've seen that post or not, because you're out fighting crime or whatever it is that multi-billion-dollar tech
secret billionaires do.
Yeah. You say secret, but don't be that secret boss billionaire where you go and you start flipping burgers for a day and everybody knows that you
Why
ain't.
not?
No, because everybody knows that it's bullshit. It's not real. You're not.
That's what I want to do. It's my life.
I mean, do what you do. I mean, I can't tell you how to live your life. I'm just saying, don't be that person. Shit. All right, so this is how we gonna do it. Appreciate y'all. Patty, any announcements? Any shout outs before we head out?
No, I think we're good. I'm good.
Britt, I definitely didn't want to put you on the spot about your podcast, but I know that you're cooking it up, so I know whenever the time is right, you will come share the info with us, so that all 10 people that download my podcast they could all fucking, you know, jump on the team early. Feel me? Get on there, because it's gonna definitely be a dope experience. I already know you're gonna have a lot of insight, a lot of personal ups and downs, which is good. Yeah. Because I think, like how we were talking about, you got to share that. You know, we just like we have to embrace it in real life for what it is. We also have to, like, if we're gonna choose to share our life, we got to kind of share the process and what got us there, you know, and a lot of times it'd be failures and mistakes, and, you know, our fighting our you know, our urges, or fucking our urge to be the old person that you were, where you just punch somebody in their fucking face. But you know, but we try though. We getting there, Lord.
No, we getting better. We a lot better now.
We're a lot better. I ain't socked nobody recently.
I would listen to that. And I like the way you articulate and your tone of voice. Like, everything's very complimentary.
She raw. She ready for it. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't
I told her I got
me over
No,
here.
that's just.
And how dope is Patty for the podcast, and she
I
don't
love
never
it.
fucking do this
Her
shit, right?
energy. I just feel honored to be in the presence of a secret billionaire.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think
Don't
it's
start
And we
encouraging
pray,
that.
and we
don't encourage
Dear Lord,
that behavior.
and we pray that
Do not-
that she might bless us one day,
do
you know,
not
and start
encourage
we'll not
that
have to watch
behavior.
us struggle
Don't
too
condone
much.
that.
You just know when it gets really bad, I'm gonna call you. You know, I'm gonna give
Yeah,
you the
because he's
signal.
struggling so much.
I'm not, but I'm saying if it ever gets to that
He's
point, you know, I need a
struggling so
safety net
much.
too. We all do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't. The ghetto didn't. The hood didn't come with benefits. You feel me?
That's on, folks.
The hood didn't come with a 401k.
You see how my sweater?
But see how she gets at me. That's the real reason why people like her on the podcast, because she just be talking shit to me.
No,
you know
her
what I mean?
energy is everything.
But that's
Thank you.
that's my sister though, for real though. She I told her that she could do this shit, but she chooses to go. It's we're not lucrative enough. You know what I'm saying? Once we start getting more money and more advertisement,
And
we're
more
gonna try to see if we
views,
got a check for her, because she ain't pulling up if it ain't a check. Like this is she's writing this off right now for her taxes. It's like charity and shit right now. So just know that we need you out here. Help.
But I fucks with Brit, though. I like
just know when
her
I say
insight.
help, I mean
like
help. Help me.
He thinks this is great. He's laughing so hard at his own joke. He thinks it's so
Oh
great.
my god. If y'all seen it like I seen it, you would know it'd be real. This shit right here is $1 million movie right here. Patty the fucking secret billionaire. Jesus. Help us all.
Can we
All right,
hang
yeah.
up podcast?
Nah,
Turn it off?
we're not hanging up the podcast. This ain't fucking the cordless phone at fucking back in the day. Man. It's not happening like that. Okay, so that's
Stupid
it. That's
old
your
people
done.
phone.
That's your done. Shout outs for the year.
I didn't. We're talking about her podcast.
Nah,
We're
I
talking
thought we were
about
talking
her
about shout outs
podcast.
though, man. Hold on. You
We
talking
were
about
past that, and then you went to her and started talking about her podcast.
Okay then. Okay, we just making sure we're on the same page.
Because I listen
So,
to that.
podcast coming soon, in the works, cooking.
Do we have an
marinating.
estimated date, if you don't mind me asking?
No,
Okay. No, that's okay.
she'll tell us when she's ready.
I will.
That's the best way.
No worries.
Because
I don't wanna put no
because you
pressure. I don't
know
want-
Hot Mama got hers coming February 15th.
I didn't know when.
February 15th. She, and like I said, she picked out the date. I told her, like, whenever you're ready, come to the podcast. I'm telling you the same thing.
after that,
Whenever
what I
you're ready
said.
to launch, and I tell all my other folks and everybody that does this stuff.
He's so
you know,
dope at that.
part of this
He's
and
so
what we
good at
do
that shit.
is based just in spreading the word, but also having a platform for people that are actually trying to do
That's
something.
major though, because you need help. Again, you need each other to do shit like this. Like if you weren't willing to help her, like there's only so much we can do.
For real
Well,
good looking.
That's what the foundation part of this was though. When we started the podcast, it wasn't just to hear myself talk, even though I am quite good at it. But it wasn't to hear myself talk. The reason why we did it though was really because, you know, a lot of people were bitching about platforms, a lot of artists and independent and entrepreneurs and other people and stuff like that. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to be the type to complain. So either I make my own platform and build it, or don't have shit to say,
right.
don't have shit to say how
If
people
you
run
build
theirs.
it, they will come.
So that's basically what it's been ever since. And so I look forward to seeing you building yours. You know, you always got help over here at any type, whatever it calls for. You know, we're always down to pull up to your podcast and chop it up with you as well.
Absolutely.
Good. And with that, all right, so you don't do social media. Patty, how can they reach you, Patty?
At 16th World, at 16THWORLD.
She's the one that's been spamming you, so. And you can find us on Instagram at RiBirth. No invite podcast. That's no_invite_ podcast. Forgive me, I run like too much. I do too much. You know what I mean?
A man of many hats.
I'm a man of many hats.
Jack
You know
of
what I'm
all
saying? You gotta do a little bit of everything nowadays. So you can find us on Instagram at no_invite_ podcast. You could also go to our YouTube channel. Please fuck with us there. That's where we see the most impact. We love for you to slander us in the comments and tell us how we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. That shit, and for anybody that, you know, that asks, that shit gives me fucking
Go
energy
ahead and
to wake
abuse
up.
us
That
verbally.
that shit gives me energy to wake up in the morning and even go harder. So yeah, talk that shit. And you can reach us there at RiBirth Media Films. That's RiBirth Media Films. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a like. Drop a dislike. Talk that shit. Like I said, whatever.
Drop
It don't
a
matter.
diss track.
whatever. Yes, you have 24 hours to drop a diss track, or you're fucking labeled a coward and scum. So from the moment you comment on my fucking post, if you ain't got it, then I don't want to hear it.
The rage is what wakes him up.
Exactly. The fact that you guys are mad makes me fucking motivated beyond belief, and gets me up faster than coffee or all of that shit. You know what I mean? So I shall use it as fuel.
Sounds like some Donald Trump shit. Like,
hey. Now you're getting disrespectful.
I love it when you're mad.
Now you just disrespecting me right now. Hold on, man. Like, you know what that? Now I'm cutting it off. All right, bye.